Tonight on Fine Point, why is the government lying about these drones? Belleville, New Jersey Mayor Michael Melham tells us. Is Elon Musk a benevolent control oligarch? Seamus Bruner weighs in. Fani Willis is off the case. What happens next in Georgia? And is Congress waging a war against the First Amendment? Brendan Dilley responds. All this and more tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Good evening and welcome to Fine Point, where no narrative is sacred, no media hoax is safe, and we zero in on the big picture. I'm your host, Chanel Rion. Can you feel it in the wind? It's 1775. Again. They say the foundation of a good relationship is good communication. And when it breaks down, well, so does everything else. And that's what happened the past few weeks between the American people and the federal government. Total breakdown as America is driven into a state of panic worthy of Orson Welles himself. The union between the American people and the federal government was never a love story per se, but it's clear the relationship has seen better days. There seems to be a complete breakdown in communications, in particular around mysterious drones flying over New Jersey and now the eastern seaboard. No clear answers as to what these drones are, alarming the people and even America's governors.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense.
You can bet those governors are talking to President Trump, as you just heard. Authorities say they've deployed a state-of-the-art drone detection system to get a closer look. But Congress has been kept in the dark. So much so that Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene says she has her ammo ready to pick these things out of the sky herself. They wouldn't offer any words of reassurance, but the federal government were clear on at least one point, one very dubious point, that these drones or UFOs are not ours, yet they're not harmful.
Nothing nefarious, apparently, but they're checking it all out. I think it's just one. There's a lot of drones authorized up there. I think one started and they all got it. Everybody wanted to get in the deal.
The incohesive messaging surrounding these drone sightings has only fueled alarm. Because we know, if this were genuinely a foreign invasion and our government was really in the dark about it, would the government that pats down grandma's knitting bag at the airport really shrug this off as no big deal? We're being played for fools by our own government, and the lack of transparency by a government that clearly knows more than they're telling us has naturally caused an outbreak of theories. Here are the top 3 theories so far, based on what we know and what the government is selectively not telling us. They're either ours, they're foreign adversaries, or it's an alien invasion. So here it is. Number 1, it's our own government. This theory has advocates that say that these are our own drones, and they point to the fact that these drones apparently have landing gear and red light landing lights. This, so far, is the strongest theory. It knocks out the other scenarios. And again, the White House itself addressed the issues raised by local officials, and the answers they gave were dodgy as you know what. Here's Mayor of Belleville, New Jersey's Mayor Michael Melham.
More than likely, it's not a foreign adversary because they would be able to figure out how to turn off the blinking lights. These drones are huge. We had a mayor yesterday on the call with the White House telling them that he had 6-foot drones hovering over his house. Yet they continue to tell us we don't know what we're talking about.
These drones also seem to be flying in a grid pattern, indicating that they're hunting for something. At around the same time as these drone sightings, the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission reported that a Category 3 load of radioactive material had gone missing on December 13 in New Jersey. This fueled the drone sniffer theory, speculation that the drones were sniffing for a possible dirty bomb. Now, the Biden Department of Energy's National Nuclear Security Administration rebuked this theory. It claims the department does not utilize drones to search for missing nuclear material, and that, yes, a load of germanium-68 had indeed gone missing in New Jersey, but that they ended up locating the material. End of story. Right? Nope. Turns out, this may be a sneaky way to dismiss an actual concern. This article and the statement from the Biden administration cites material that went missing on December 2 and was found December 10, conveniently ignoring the fact that nuclear waste material for a medical scanner did in fact go missing on December 13 in New Jersey. Now, the radiation levels contained in this missing shipment is minuscule, but given what the government is not telling us, maybe this is one of many missing shipments of nuclear waste. Let's hope not. UFO expert George Noory says these drones, or manned aircraft, as our Pentagon alluded to, seem more militaristic in nature, but the amounts of them and the ability to go dark and evade seem contrary to Biden's take, indeed nefarious. Theory number 2, it's a foreign adversary. Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey was one of the first elected officials to respond to these drones. He voiced the first concern on many Americans' minds that this must be the work of an international adversary. Congressman Van Drew claimed to have intelligence that Iran parked a mothership off the East Coast and sent drones to spy on us. After all, this administration let Chinese spy balloons slide. Why not Iranian drones the size of cars? Pentagon, of course, was quick to dismiss that these came from any foreign enemy. However, the intel was never brought up again.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there right now. Let's put that one with the Iranians off to the side.
And finally, theory number 3, it's aliens.
My concern is if it's not craft from outer space, because I think that has to be on the table. That has to be an option.
Now, this approach, or this theory, has an interesting basis, if only based off of some unverified footage showing these things moving and operating in ways that go beyond current known drone capabilities. Operating, for instance, for 4 to 5 hour stretches of time, or speeding up and disappearing in ways that are unusual for drones. Just this year, Congress, our own military, some experts addressed the very real rash of UFOs, or UAPs, as of late, all citing activity from objects that seem more advanced than anything even the most powerful country and most powerful militaries on Earth have. If aliens were to arrive one day, would you be surprised that our government wouldn't tell us until it's too late? Joining us now for a reaction is the mayor you heard from earlier, the mayor of Belleville, New Jersey, Michael Melham. Mayor, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I laid out three theories. I played a soundbite from you earlier this week. At this point, given what you know, what you have seen, and how you've seen our government react to this story, which camp do you feel like you fall on at this point in your belief about what these are?
I mean, let's just quickly discount the little green men, or as I've been corrected on social media, as a matter of fact, that they might not be green men, they may be gray men, but let's just discount that one for a second. I'm more of the opinion that these are definitely our federal government assets. We're probably looking at some new tech here, potentially even new tech that members of Congress aren't even aware of, because, you know, we were told some facts. I've had briefing after briefing, and we're told by our New Jersey State Police that these things are not emitting a radio frequency, which tells you, forget about them being, you know, a personal drone or a commercial drone, because they have to emit a radio frequency. These are not, which is why we can't track them well, which is also why we can't jam them and bring them out of the sky. So more than likely, foreign adversary, which I doubt because they have blinking lights, as we've discussed. I'm certain that a foreign adversary would figure out how to unscrew the lights. So therefore, it's got to be our government.
Right. Well, okay, so you've had conversations or you've been on calls with the White House, and you've shared that the White House has been very dismissive of what you and your fellow mayors and fellow New Jersey officials have reported to them. Has there been any follow-up with the White House at this point or any other higher level officials about that conversation and what this could be and how to react to it?
Yeah, so we started last week here in New Jersey meeting with our officials. So we got nowhere. Clearly, our governor doesn't have the capability to get the questions answered. He had 200 press conferences for COVID, yet has barely been spotted on this topic. So that pushed all the mayors along to the White House. We had a meeting with the White House Office of Intergovernmental Affairs, where, again, we were basically told we're crazy. People in New Jersey are seeing things. There's nothing to see here. It's a lot of misidentification. And they basically towed the party line. The interesting part about that, though, was 24 hours after that, literally 24 hours after that, the House Intelligence Committee convened a classified briefing whereby they were in there for 3 hours. Our meeting was only 45 minutes and we were told we're crazy. So what is it that they learned over the course of those 3 hours that we weren't told the day before? They clearly know something, and it's time for the American public, it's time for New Jersey residents to learn the truth.
So I guess the next question is, if this is indeed, if these drones or whatever these are, if they're indeed ours, America's, then why would they use these over New Jersey? Is there any merit? Do you find any merit to this theory that they're sniffing out dangerous materials, or is there some other idea or theory you've got about why they would choose New Jersey of all places?
Well, again, with the lack of a why, it leads to speculation. And the fact that we know certain things, we know they're over our critical infrastructure. And depending on your perspective on that, it's either cause for concern or, you just get the sense that you're comforted because you would think it's our government. So if they are over our critical infrastructure, it's either cause for concern or comfort. I think there are, so therefore it's cause for concern. Potentially we're at a certain threat level. I remember the days of the Bush administration through threat level warnings and different color codes, and at a certain threat level, we did certain things. So I'm okay if there are, but then we're also aware of them flying in a grid-like pattern. Why would they be doing that? You could put a drone up for 5 minutes and get all the mapping and all the photos you need. The fact they appear in the same spots, doing the same things night after night, tells you that they are looking for something, or as we say, sniffing. I'm the one that started that whole thing, sniffing, and I truly do believe if they are sniffing, well, what would they be looking for? Could it be a suitcase nuke? Could it be a dirty bomb? Or, dare I say, radioactive material? They're definitely looking for something. To me, the question is no longer whose drones are they, or who owns them, but really why? Why are they up there and what are they looking for?
Well, I mean, I highlighted the Biden administration's answer that this is not about looking for nuclear missing material. That said, there are inconsistencies with the missing reports that they're citing, that they're looking back to. They cited this report from December 2nd, and there's no apparent response to the December 13 report that some additional material has gone missing. New Jersey is also one of the top energy states for the Northeast. It's certainly a target on that front if you're going to talk about targeting. But I think there seems to be some momentum behind this idea that, as you say, they're sniffing for something, and it could be material that could go into something a little more dangerous.
Sure. I mean, listen, forgive me if I don't believe them. Nor do I believe that no matter who's in charge of our government, they would want our foreign adversaries to know what capabilities we have. Potentially we'll find out in 10 or 15 or 20 years that, hey, back in 2024, we had the technology to put sniffers on a drone and fly them back and forth. I doubt we would want to tell our foreign adversaries that we have that capability, even if we had it. Clearly, members of Congress probably don't even know, because you got you have the president saying nothing nefarious. You have members of the Intelligence Committee coming out saying nothing to see here. Yet you have the chair of Foreign Affairs saying he believes it's a Chinese drone. Yet you have another congressperson saying it's an Iranian ship. It's this miscommunication. It's all this messaging coming from the federal government that's just making everybody paranoid here in New Jersey.
Well, that's the number one clue that they may know what this is, and they're lying about it. What has surprised you about the way that that messaging has been handled around this?
the pure fact they don't have a cover story in place. I mean, I try and make light of it, but it's true. At least tell me that it's a training mission. At least tell me that we have drone capabilities, and we've done it over rural areas. We've practiced over the deserts, but now we're just doing some training missions over urban areas. Just tell me that. Don't insult my intelligence, and don't insult the intelligence of everybody here in New Jersey by telling me we have no idea what's going on. That we have capabilities that can read your driver's license number from a mile up in the sky. Probably why it's still in your pocketbook. Don't tell me we don't know what's flying over my home.
Mayor Michael Melham, a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for the insight, and hopefully we will find out some answers soon and not this mixed-mashed communication that we're getting from our top officials. A pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Is Elon Musk a control oligarch? Seamus Bruner joins us next to answer this. We'll be right back.